The code of prosperous transformation, liberated authority, and strategic expansion. Angel number 185 appears when prosperity requires change and your authority is ready to expand beyond an outdated structure. This number signals strategic transformation. The vision remains valuable. The purpose remains active, but the current method has reached its limit. A financial matter or pattern requires correction, and a leadership style requires greater flexibility. A business project, relationship routine, or material goal requires a new strategy. And the number one activates identity, initiative, leadership, and a new direction in your life. So, ultimately, the number 8 brings abundance, authority, achievement, stewardship, influence, and material mastery. And the number 5 releases transformation, movement, freedom, adaptability, and expansion. Together, angel number 185 declares, lead the change, protect the value, and expand through a strategy aligned with who you are becoming. This code confirms that prosperity is not asking you to repeat what once worked. It's asking you to recognize what now works better. So, welcome back, beautiful soul family, to Celestial Codes, Angel Numbers Decoded. I'm Samuel the Lightweight Shower, and today we continue our complete sequential journey with Angel number 185. Take one slow breath with me and inhale strategic freedom and exhale and release attachment to systems, expectations, income patterns, and definitions of success that no longer support your growth. You're not abandoning your purpose by changing the method. You're honoring the purpose by giving it stronger path. Angel number 185 joins material authority with transformation. The Most High is showing you where prosperity has become restricted by habit, fear, rigidity, underpricing, overwork, outdated agreements, or resistance to necessary exchange. The next expansion begins when authority becomes adaptable. So, angel number 185 combines the energies of 1, 8, and 5. The number 1 represents identity, initiation, leadership, independence, originality, intention, and new beginnings. 1 appears first because transformation requires a conscious leader, and you decide that the current pattern no longer directs your future. Your identity, the new standard, right? You identify it and then build the identity around it. You choose the strategy. You accept responsibility for movement. And ultimately, the number 1 asks, what are you prepared to change? What direction now reflects your authority? And what decision has remained delayed because the familiar structure still feels safe or safer? The number 8 represents abundance, achievement, authority, financial stewardship, organization, influence, power, cause and effect, and legacy. 8 stands at the center because material value must remain protected throughout the transformation. Change without stewardship creates instability. Expansion without financial awareness creates unnecessary risk, and freedom without responsibility becomes disorder. The number 8 directs you to examine income, expenses, pricing, time, energy, assets, and opportunities, while also looking at influence and long-term impact. So the question is not only what needs to change, the deeper question is, how does this change create greater value, stability, prosperity, and purpose? The number 5 represents freedom, transformation, movement, adaptability, experimentation, courage, divine change, experience, opportunity, and personal expansion. Ultimately, 5 completes the visible sequence because authority is moving into action. A strategy changes, an offer changes, a schedule changes, a location changes, a boundary changes, a financial agreement changes, a method of communication changes, whatever it is, it changed. And the number 5 restores movement where success became restricted by repetition. So if it didn't change, it could be changing right now or in the process of being changed right over the next 3 days, judging from whenever the celestial code manifested in your life. So there is another powerful layer, and it doesn't have to be in the next 3 days, right? It's really until you started paying attention, because they'll send the codes, especially if they feel like you're intuitive enough to finally pay attention, right? They'll beat you over the head with them. But it could be a whole year before you finally pay attention. So they're pretty good about knowing their mark as well. So pay attention to that. When you decide that you're going to take action and start paying attention, well, that is when the code will become most relevant for you. So the number 5 restores movement where success became restricted by repetition. There is another powerful layer here. 1 plus 8 plus 5 equals 14. 1 plus 4 reduces to 5. And angel number 185 returns directly to the energy of 5. This reinforces transformation as the final lesson beneath the sequence. The visible 5 initiates change, and the reduced 5 confirms that continued movement, flexibility, and strategic adjustment sustain the expansion. So the number 1 leads, the number 8 protects and organizes value, and then the number 5 transforms. The returning 5 then keeps prosperity from becoming trapped inside an outdated form. The central message of angel number 185 is lead material transformation with courage. Preserve value through disciplined stewardship. And remember, ultimately, to expand through strategic choices that create greater freedom. The scientific and spiritual bridge. Successful expansion depends upon adaptation. A strategy produces information. The result reveals what works. And the leader studies that information and adjusts. So ultimately, angel number 185 reflects this cycle. The number 1 establishes the objective. The number 8 measures value, resources, and consequences. The number 5 changes the method. And then the returning 5 continues refining the approach through experience. This process protects you from rigid persistence, right? It is a process that protects you from so much of your own underrailing, undertaking, undermining, and undercutting of yourself. Persistence serves purpose when the method continues producing movement. Persistence becomes costly when the evidence repeatedly shows that the structure no longer works. So, angel number 185 directs you to separate commitment from attachment. Commitment remains loyal to the mission. Attachment remains loyal to one method and the ego. So strategic authority changes the method while protecting the mission. And this number also reflects experimentation. It's okay to experiment. Experimentation means a smaller test produces information before a larger commitment. So you test the title, the offer, the schedule, the pricing structure, the workflow, whatever it is, the audience response, the communication approach. The result guides the next decision, and then strategic experimentation is not indecision. It is disciplined learning. Angel number 185 also challenges sunk cost thinking, right? The urge to continue investing in something only because time, money, or energy has already been spent. Oh, I put so much time and effort into this, I can't turn back now. That is devastating to you, your confidence, and your assets. Past investment does not automatically justify future investment, ever. The wiser question is, ultimately, does this direction still create value from this point forward? And you really need to be real with yourself. Prosperous leadership evaluates the present truth and acts accordingly. The sacred and esoteric meaning, spiritually, angel number 185 represents the prosperous liberator. The number 1 stands as the sovereign leader. The number 8 forms the temple of abundance, authority, stewardship, and material power. And the number 5 opens the gate of transformation beyond the temple. So the returning 5 confirms that freedom remains active throughout the new cycle. And the sequence creates a sacred progression while you accept the authority, examine the resources, open the gate, and move prosperity into a freer form. Angel number 185 confirms that abundance must remain alive. And ultimately, living prosperity circulates, it responds, it evolves, it moves toward greater usefulness. And a business changes as the audience changes. A spiritual service changes as the capacity grows. A financial strategy changes as your goals mature. A leadership style changes as responsibility expands. And the number 8 protects the substance. The number 5 changes the form, and the distinction is essential. You preserve the value while transforming the delivery. You preserve the purpose while transforming the strategy. You preserve integrity while transforming the agreement. You preserve spiritual truth while transforming the language used to communicate it. And ultimately, angel number 185 also teaches that freedom and authority belong together. Freedom without authority becomes scattered. Authority without freedom becomes rigid. So the sequence unites both. You become disciplined enough to direct your resources and flexible enough to change course when truth requires it. So, the returning 5 confirms that your next level requires movement, and the Most High is not revealing the change so you can continue debating it indefinitely. The revelation carries instruction. Angel number 185 declares the transformation before you is releasing material power from a structure that has become too small. Why you're seeing 185 now? Well, you're seeing 185 because prosperity requires a strategic adjustment. The current system has produced everything it was designed to produce in some way or capacity, and the next result requires a different approach. So angel number 185 directs you to examine the method without questioning the worth of the entire vision. You are also seeing 185 because your relationship with money is changing. A pricing pattern requires correction. An expense requires removal. An income source requires development. A financial boundary requires enforcement. A resource requires a higher assignment. This number appears when your authority has outgrown an old agreement. A role no longer reflects your contribution. A partnership no longer reflects equal value. A work arrangement restricts expansion. A responsibility consumes more than it produces. Angel number 185 restores your ability to renegotiate, restructure, or release. You are seeing 185 because freedom requires a practical plan. The desire for change is clear. Now, the transition requires dates, resources, boundaries, and measurable actions. So, this code directs you away from vague escape and towards strategic movement. Angel number 185 also appears when opportunity arrives in an unexpected form. The path does not resemble the original plan. The new route still supports the deeper mission. And ultimately, the time has come for you to acknowledge it. So the number 5 directs adaptability. The number 8 directs careful evaluation. And you are also seeing 185 because overwork is no longer a sustainable strategy for you. More effort does not solve every structural weakness, and the answer is stronger prioritization. Automation, delegation, simplification, clear pricing, better systems, refined systems, right? Or design systems, okay? More focused value creation, incorporating the right systems. When 185 appears, ask what strategy has reached its limit, what system no longer serves or can be improved or upgraded, what resource requires a new assignment, what change creates greater freedom and value, and what decisive action begins the expansion now. So when I say what resource requires a new assignment, it can be anything, okay? If it's your peace of mind, then it deserves to go somewhere up for your passions, right? Or a hobby or something. If it is your time, then it's something that can be constructive or resourceful or actually contribute to your rest or well-being, right? If it is finances, then it's somewhere that it can maybe grow or return an investment for you or build into something, your creative abilities, your intuitive energy, or just your capacity to receive, right? So these are examples of what I mean when I say what resource requires a new assignment. Okay, so ultimately, as we embark on this journey, let's stay with it. All right, so what decisive action begins the expansion now, ultimately? Like, what could you do? What change creates greater freedom and value? What's going to bring the desired outcome in your life? And ultimately, that is what angel number 185 is trying to say, trying to convey, showing up in that way, trying to make sure that you become a bigger part of the part that you're playing in your life, and also a conscious creator in your own, a predominant creator. Thank you, Most High, in your experience. So let us consciously align with the energy of 185. This practice is called the 185 Strategic Expansion Method. Ultimately, the 185 Strategic Expansion Method, it begins with one expansion objective, okay? So you are going to put in a complete sentence that is the prosperous transformation I am now leading is, and then name it directly. Is it a new income stream? Is it a revised offer? Is it a career transition? Is it a financial reset? Is it a stronger business model? Is it a healthier schedule? Is it a renewed leadership structure? What is it? It just name it directly. And then next, review 8 resource areas, right? Income, expenses, time, energy, knowledge, systems, relationships, and opportunities. For each area, ask what currently creates value, what restricts movement, what requires protection, what requires change, and then establish 5 strategic moves. The first move removes one unnecessary drain. The second move redirects one valuable resource, and then the third move tests one improved method, while the fourth move establishes one freedom producing boundary, and the fifth move defines one measurable expansion result. So examples include cancel the unnecessary expense, redirect 2 hours toward the highest value project, test a clear title, offer, price, or workflow, protect one non-negotiable work period, track income completion, reach savings, or time recovered, reaches for like audience for content creators, and complete the method with this declaration when you're done. Just do one, but say, I lead prosperous transformation with courage. I protect value while changing the strategy. Every line adjustment expands freedom, authority, and material success. Remember, 1 expansive object, 8 resource areas, and 5 strategic moves. This is your 185 strategic expansion method. The integration I leave you with to embody angel number 185 is to complete 1 strategic adjustment immediately. Change the method, remove the drain, renegotiate the agreement, test the offer, protect the resource, begin the transition, whatever it is. Within the next 24 hours, complete the first move from your 185 strategic expansion method. Malachite supports transformation, courage, truth, material change, and the release of restrictive patterns. Pyrite aligns with authority, prosperity, business strategy, and financial stewardship. And Tiger's Eye strengthens courage, practical judgment, adaptability, and balanced power. While Citrine supports creative expansion, confidence, abundance, and purposeful opportunity. And Labradorite aligns with transition, emerging identity, spiritual protection, and new possibilities. Use these in conjunction with one another for the best results, but as always, you can use them individually as sacred reminders of transformation, strategy, prosperous authority, freedom, and forward movement. The closing blessing that I leave you with, my beautiful, beloved soul family. Angel number 185 appears when prosperity is ready to move beyond an outdated form. You lead the transformation. You protect the value. You expand through safety. The next time you see 185, ask, what adjustment creates the greatest freedom and value now? And then return to the 185 strategic expansion method. 1 expansion objective, 8 resource areas, 5 strategic moves. Receive this closing blessing now. The Most High releases your prosperity from every structure that has fulfilled its purpose. Every outdated strategy loses its authority. Every financial pattern built around fear, avoidance, overwork, or diminished value becomes visible and correctable. The number 1 activates decisive leadership within you. The number 8 strengthens abundance, authority, stewardship, influence, and material mastery. The number 5 opens transformation, freedom, adaptability, opportunity, and strategic movement. And the returning 5 keeps your expansion alive, responsive, courageous, and aligned. Your mind recognizes the stronger strategy. Your spirit recognizes the correct timing. Your resources receive a higher assignment. Your leadership becomes adaptable. Your money becomes purposeful. Your work becomes more efficient. Your boundaries become freedom producing. Your opportunities receive wise evaluation. You no longer remain loyal to a method that restricts the mission. You no longer confuse exhaustion with prosperity. You no longer preserve an agreement that diminishes your value. And you no longer resist the adjustment that opens the next level. Every aligned change releases movement. Every strategic decision strengthens authority. Every resource redirected toward purpose expands prosperity. And every courageous action opens a wider field of opportunity, freedom, influence, and lasting